Good morning, friends and families. Welcome to Story Time. We are here today at Out of Africa, and we are in the sloth encounter with the star of our show today, Bartholomew, or AKA Bart, and Stacy. And we are going to read a story about Bart, and then Stacy's going to come in and answer some of our questions. And so let's go ahead and get started. This is called Sloth and Smell the Roses. The book is by Eunice Moyle and Sabrina Moyle. When everything is a go, 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 say hello to mindful Mo. He has shut eyes, soft breathing, much like Bart, a still body. It's Mo, defender of truth and wisdom. And the little turtle down here says, she says it's in the moment. How to be mindful, you want to know? Feel your feels and take them slow. Much like good old Bart, he's going to make me start getting sleepy here. He's so comfy. When feelings start to grow and grow, let them be, let them out, then let them go. When you are mad and you want to scream, feel your anger boil and steam. Is that true? Then use your words to let it out. Hang in there, friend. I'm so angry. Say what you need and try not to pout. Are you smelling the roses in the book? When you're feeling sad or blue, tell your feelings, I love you. Believe in yourself. Give yourself a little hug and fill your heart right up with love. When life wants you to rush and race, slow it down and make some space. We have a sloth astronaut going on right there. Are you an astronaut, Bart? You're snoring, huh? Close your eyes and breathe in deep. You are relaxed, but not asleep. Sometimes things do not seem fair. Try to be thankful for your share. Hearts are made of grateful stuff. Yours knows there will be enough. Want to calm down but don't know how? Look around and say, wow to the now. Sloth is holding a rose. Bartholomew just ate an orchid. So cool. The secret to peace is right under your noses. Slow down, love yourself, sloth, and smell the roses. The end. And I think Bart is snoring. No, he's faking me out. So we're going to have Stacy come in and we're going to ask her a couple questions. So now Stacy, this is our Stacy that I was talking about. Stacy, how long have you worked here with Bartholomew?
I've been friends with Bartholomew for about 9 years.
Oh, 9 years. So did you study to be able to work with animals?
A lot of zookeepers study to have this job. Some of us go to four-year universities. Some of us do different forms of education. And a lot of us did a lot of internships and volunteering to start.
Oh, nice, nice. So what would a typical day with Bartholomew be? Or what does he eat?
So a typical day with Bart starts with us coming in here, we make sure we clean everything up because sometimes sloths can be messy. So we'll clean his habitat, we'll adjust his different temperatures, make sure his temperatures are correct because sloths are from the rainforest and they like it to be a certain way. And so we'll make sure his temperatures are good. And during the daytime, Bart gets to meet people throughout the day for the sloth encounter. So he gets part of his diet through these treats that we give people to feed him, and so he can just eat that apple there, and he gets to meet people throughout the day. And then after his sloth encounters are done, we will actually either, if the temperature allows us, he can go outside into his backyard, and if it's too cold, he'll stay in here, and we can hang up enrichment for him to forage on and things like that. So Bart he can have some pretty busy days with meeting lots of different folks.
What is the interior temperature you like to keep the enclosure at?
We like to keep, Bart, my ideal temperatures are between 70 and around 90 is the high, but I do have a really nice air conditioner in here. So we're in the summertime, we're aiming for between 75 and 82-ish. But sometimes it gets really hot, and there's only so much technology can do. But he does just fine with those temperatures. If it gets too cold, these guys don't really have the ability to warm themselves up because of their low muscle mass, and they actually have a special bacteria in their gut that helps them digest their food. And if it gets too cold, the bacteria in their gut could die, and then sloths could starve. So that's why they live in these very tropical temperatures in the rainforest in Central and South America. So that's why we'd like to keep it. If it gets too hot, well, no one likes to be too hot. He's not a desert animal.
How would they tell you?
How would he tell you? If he's really cold, he won't be kind of stretched out like this. He'll just stay curled up in a ball, things like that. So stuff like that. When he's really hot, he gets actually a little dramatic, and he starts laying out with his arms out, and it's just a little much for this guy.
He's sunbathing.
Yes, he gets a little dramatic, so we know. We also keep the humidity up in here a little bit, especially at the end of the day. We come in here with a hose and we spray everything down, and we keep his humidity up as well.
Are they fast animals?
So most people know sloths as being very slow. There are 6 different species of sloths, and this is a Linnaeus's two-toed sloth. That's the kind that Bart is, and Bart is the fastest kind of sloth. So he's the fastest, moving on average about 8 to 10 feet a minute. And he can go up to 45 feet a minute when he is scared or upset. So they can go faster than people realize. Now, that's only in the trees. When they're on the ground, they can't really move very fast because they're not designed to walk on their hands. They just kind of drag their bodies because he's designed to be in this upside down position. He's designed to be hanging in the trees. This is his normal hanging out position. This is normal for Bart.
And then they have a good, I'm just looking at his nose, and it's just adorable. Does he good sense of smell?
Excellent sense of smell. They have a good sense of hearing. They can hear as good as we can. They like to touch things. They're very tactile. But his eyesight is very poor. They don't see very well.
Common for sloths?
All sloths have really poor eyesight. Their eyes are very small. It makes them very nearsighted. The pupils are also very small, and they don't react very much, and so their pupils let in very small amounts of light into their eyes. And sloths also cannot see colors. They don't have the ability to see color.
Awesome.
So he's going to depend on that sense of smell more than his eyesight.
So he has 2 little hooks.
2 toes, yes.
Toes on his
Front hands or feet, whatever you would like to call them.
But they're called fans?
They're hands, yes,
Or hands.
his hands.
Oh, okay. And do those have to be taken care of? Or?
He keeps his claws trimmed down all on his own.
Oh.
So they naturally wear down because we use all these natural materials in his house, and we don't really see him having too many issues. Every year he has a dental appointment, and so the vet comes, and we just make sure that his teeth are very well taken care of because sloths are very prone to dental diseases. And so we don't want Bart to have cavities.
So
guys, we like to call them opportunistic omnivores.
Okay.
So they're typically going to be eating things like leaves, flowers. They'll be eating fruit when they can find it. But sometimes if they have the option, they will eat protein. And it could be things like birds, small mammals, but they can also eat eggs. They like to eat eggs. Eggs can't run or fly away from you.
Oh.
And Bart really much enjoys eggs, but he is kind of a high maintenance sloth, and he likes it when we scramble his eggs for him.
Really?
He's very fancy.
That's too funny.
He's fancy.
Do you, so like bathing wise, is it just him
He grooms himself. I don't have to do anything for him. Usually when you see sloths being bathed on other social media channels, it's usually younger sloths who don't have a parent to care for them, and they probably have a skin condition. So I don't need to bathe Bart. He can do it all on his own. So he grooms himself.
Are they nocturnal?
Sloths are a very interesting kind of animal. We can see their activity increase at night, but technically we like to say that sloths are cathemeral animals, and these animals take naps, 15-minute to 3-hour naps, and these naps can happen at any time of the day.
So I have my new,
Sleep apnea.
so that's my new spirit animal.
Yeah,
Yes,
they can take naps at any time. So when you see sloths like Bart under human care, we see them observed sleeping up to 15 hours a day. But in the wild, sloths are only observed sleeping 8 to 9 hours a day. And again, it's in those naps. It's that combination of naps.
Social animal, like so the hyenas have a clan, or sloths social animals?
So sloths are not social. They're very solitary animals, and they prefer to hang out on their own. But if you do see a group of sloths, I believe that is called a blanket. A blanket of sloths is their collective now. But I should double check. For you.
That's
It
okay.
still sounds cool anyway. So I know, so Bart is he's the only one here right now.
He's the only one here right now.
Try to get him a mate.
We'd
or
love
a
to
roommate.
get him like a little girlfriend, and she would have like her own apartment,
Right.
just in the same complex.
Right,
And we'd
right.
make it so they could see each other, smell each other, and then maybe potentially visit each other if they wanted to. But it is important to know that these are territorial animals.
They
These
are.
guys have their own territories, their own spaces that they like to claim as their own, and they don't necessarily want to share them. So it's important that we make sure that if we get another sloth, that when we get another sloth, she can have her own spaces to herself, and then we won't force them to share space if they don't want to. It's all up to them.
And so, like, I know emus, because we've met some emus at the library. The male takes care of the eggs. Is that with the baby sloth, does the male sloth take care of it?
Males have one purpose, and that is to help make the baby sloth. And then after that, it's all up to mom. And mom will have one baby at a time, and it rides around on her stomach for the most part. And then she'll take care of that baby until it's 8 to 12 months old. And after that, you're on your own.
Gotcha. Lifespan of a sloth is usually how?
A sloth like Bart, we can see them living in the wild 15 to 20 years on average. But because he's under human care, we see these animals reaching their 20s, 30s, 40s. And the oldest sloth we know about is actually in Germany, and she's 51.
Wow.
Doing her thing. Just
So
doing life.
they live much longer under human care, and that's just because there's no predators here. He has excellent nutrition, good veterinary care, all that good stuff.
So the sloth is not a predator. It's just
Not a predator.
So what are its natural?
His natural predators are going to be things like jaguars, pumas, harpy eagles, which are very large birds of prey. So there's this really good sweet spot for sloths to live in the canopy, where they're low enough that the eagles can't come down and pick them out, but they're high enough that they're on branches that heavy cats like pumas and jaguars, can't come out. They can't reach them because the branches can support his 20-pound weight, but maybe not the 400-pound jaguar.
How big? Yeah, how big can they weigh?
So this is the largest type of sloth that we have living today. Again, a Linnaeus two-toed sloth, and he's a pretty decent-sized male. And Bart weighs about 20 pounds, and
Really?
they don't really get a whole heck of a lot bigger than that. So these guys are the biggest kind.
Is it most of it here? Oh, look, there you go, buddy. Good stretch, good stretch.
I don't want to get close to your face.
He's waking up for a little bit of breakfast. There we go.
I know, I thought I heard him snoring for a second.
That's amazing. And then so at the park, he is with what group of animals is he part of?
So he's part of the small mammals department, and we get to take care of things like Bart, the otter, our raccoon, Patagonian cavies, all those cute furry little things, the porcupines, and we're also in charge of quite a few of the birds here at the park, so we take care of a lot of our parrots and aviary animals, and then we also do take care of the emus here, but the ostriches belong into a different department, the Serengeti department. So different animals in different departments. We're kind of the everything that's cute department.
He's not a primate?
He's not a primate. Sloths are most closely related to things like armadillos and anteaters. They're in the superorder or group of animals that is called xenarthrans, and that means oddly jointed. And so if you think about those things like the armadillos and anteaters, they also kind of have these funny moving joints as well. And then sloths have their own order, they have their own families, they have their own genuses, and they have their own species. So anything under superorder is just specific to sloths.
Gotcha.
But there's only 2 families of sloths that are living today or that are extant. You got the 2-toed kind. Those guys are in the large family that was the ground sloths that we see in the last ice age. And then the 3-toed sloths are in a different family. So actually he's not very closely related to a 3-toed sloth. He's much more closely related to an extinct ground sloth.
And so he's Central America?
You're going to find this type of sloth only in South America. You're going to see Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela.
And 3-toed lives where?
The other kinds of sloths, you can find them in ranges of Central and South America. So different sloth species have different ranges, but depending on where you are, those ranges can and do overlap.
Okay. That's so cool.
Well, Miss Adela is getting like really relaxed here. Oh, yeah, you're making me nice and relaxed. Thank you, Bart, for allowing us to come here and visit you. You're amazing. And thank you, Miss Stacy.
Oh, well, thank
allowing
you
us
guys
talk
for coming to
us
visit.
about it. So just remember, kids, to read, and pick up a book. We have plenty of books from the library about sloths, and learn some more interesting things. But come to Out of Africa. It's so amazing, and you can come and see Bart and touch Bart and hear him snore. With that, we'll say, see you later.